What's up, guys? If you want to save yourself months of frustration at the driving range, this is the perfect video for you. These are the beginner mistakes that I made, and trust me, you're going to want to avoid them. Now, when I first got started playing golf, I got obsessed, maybe too obsessed, very quickly. I jumped in without thinking, kind of just jumped in at the deep end, and it cost me both time and energy. But I even got to the point now where I'm buying clothing, even though it's too cold, so I've got this that I'm not going to get to wear it for 6 months. But in any case, these are the 5 biggest mistakes that I made and what you can do to fix them. If you're new to golf, be sure to hit like so more beginners can see these videos, and also subscribe to see more helpful content for yourself. Without any further delay, let's get into the video. So mistake number 1, and we're starting off with a huge one here, it's swinging too hard. It might sound simple, but it has much more of an impact than you think. I thought by swinging harder I'd get more distance, but all I'd actually ended up doing was getting a sore back and some really bad habits as well. When you swing too hard, what tends to happen is your backswing falls apart and you forget what you've learned because you've not created that muscle memory yet, and your tempo very quickly disappears. Instead of analysing your technique, you're just trying to crush the ball, and it's not really conductive and conducive of what you need to be doing so early on. But seriously, take 5 fast swings and then take 5 slow ones. You'll see which feel better, which go straighter and feel more consistent. Golf isn't like tennis or cricket where you're hitting as hard as you can, and that makes sense, to hit the ball out for a 6. With golf, the club has the weight and it wants to do the work for you, so simply just let it. Start practicing slow, controlled swings, and you'll feel weird to begin with, that's fine, but trust me, your body is going to thank you later on. This next mistake, I'll admit, is a bit boring, but it is important as well, and that is not warming up. I thought, hey, it's just swinging the golf club, right? How bad can it be? I'm not running, or I'm not extending too much, I'm not tackling anyone. Well, when I skipped stretching, I woke up the next day like a robot. It was horrendous. If you've ever been to the gym for the first time, we all remember that moment the morning after where you wake up and you can't move. You don't even know if you can get out of bed. And the same thing happens with golf. This time, instead of having sore legs or whatever, it's all focused on your back and in your arms. And arguably that's even worse because anyone in their 30s know that back pain is no joke. But do yourself a favor. Stretch out, get that blood flowing, and especially if you're not in your 20s like me, I'm over 30, I need to be doing these stretches. Don't just jump straight into hitting the ball. Start with practice swings or even just hitting that rubber tee that you see on the mat. It might look silly, but it warms up your body and your brain as well to kind of get yourself into that mentality and that motion that you'll be doing. If you've been playing a while, please drop me a comment. I'd love to see what you guys do for a warm-up as well, and also share it with the other viewers here. This mistake, it nearly broke my swing before I even got started. That is having the wrong grip or the wrong stance. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't need to be perfect right away, you just need something close to what you should be doing to get you started. But if your grip is way off, or your stance is too narrow or wide, or even if you're standing too close or far away from the ball, you're going to be fighting the club every single swing. Start off with a neutral grip, and I'll put a picture up of what a weak grip is, a neutral grip and a strong grip, just so that you can see it in simple terms. But it will feel strange to begin with, but what this does, having a neutral grip, is it saves you from fixing your problems mid-swing. I had quite a strong grip personally, and I had that because it felt like I had more control on the through swing, but what I actually ended up doing was making my bad swings worse. My decent-ish swings are okay, but the bad ones are awful. And then what actually ended up happening is I'd have the club face closed and it would zip off to the left, and that's all because I had too strong of a grip. As for stance, what you want to be aiming for is to have your feet planted roughly a shoulder width apart with the ball in the middle. You want to fan your lead foot slightly out and just have your knees loose, not bent, just leaned, and then lean forward a touch. What you should be able to do now is place the club down on your lead knee, and it will sit about 6 inches above the knee. Sounds like a lot, but it will click quickly, and once you've done it a few times, it will then start to become a habit and you'll be able to easily replicate it. Now, this is another one that probably sounds a bit too basic, but I did this all the time, and that's just hitting the ball without any kind of intention of aiming, just trying to hit it. I used to just grab a club, swing, and then I kind of wondered, well, where did the ball go? Why did it go over the left? Why did it go over to the right? Just pick a target. Whether it be a flag, a sign, a bunker, just anything, just pick something to aim for. And what you will then want to do is to line up your club face with that target and square up to the ball. All you need to do is to build a stance around that. It feels simple, but what this does is it helps to build habits and consistency, and it helps you to structure your swing fast. Now, my last big mistake was rushing shots. I'd hit one ball and then immediately grab another, hit it, grab another, hit it, and I wasn't thinking about what went wrong. Why did the ball go left? Why did I miss it? Why did I top the ball? Golf really does punish a lack of patience, but it also rewards having patience every single time. So here's what I do now. After every swing, I take a pause. Might sound simple again, but it works. I ask myself what felt good, what felt bad, and then if I recognize something that I need to change, I do just that one change and I focus on that. And only once I've ingrained that, I then move on to any other adjustments. That simply prevents the brain from becoming overwhelmed and kind of helps you to stop getting disconnected from everything else that you've learned. Another thing about slowing down is, more importantly as well, is that it teaches your way of learning. It means that you recognize what it is you've done wrong and you then put in a step to adjust it. You learn from that and then you move on to the next thing. It builds a lot more structure about the game and you learning the game. So I've been making these mistakes, but how do I fix them? Well, I use a quick pre-shot checklist which I have written down on my phone, and I refer to that every single time I go to the driving range. It says grip, stance, distance and knees, and that's my stance sorted. I also give myself verbal cues, or sometimes I say them in my head, but I say slow, 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 shoulders and hips. What this does is it helps to keep tempo, and it also helps me to swing out using my shoulders and then swing through using my hips. But you want to know the best hack though? Get a tripod. It's that simple, record yourself. Sure, you're going to feel stupid, you're going to feel self-conscious sometimes to begin with, but I did too. But trust me, recording your swing and watching it in slow motion, you'll notice things in real time that you never knew that you were doing. A big example for me, I was chicken wing quite a lot. So that's kind of where you lift your hands up and you've got these two chicken wings. I was doing that so much, and every time that I thought I fixed it, I didn't, and I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. And to be honest, I don't actually know how I ended up fixing it. I think it was more to do with kind of my initial backswing that was causing me to do that. But very recently, I watched my recent recording and I've somehow fixed it. So watching these clips back really does allow you to analyze, but also to learn what it is you're doing wrong. And then you can put things in place for your next session to hopefully correct it. And there you go. 5 beginner mistakes that really slowed me down and how to avoid them. Hopefully you can make notes of these and you'll progress much faster than I did and not spend as much time and energy than I did. But if you're starting out like me, check out my other videos. I do have some helpful guidance in there, but also tell me in the comments, what is the biggest mistake that you made when you first picked up a club? Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.